Alright, delay started, everything looks to be good, the title's what I want, and I am intoxicated, so perfect. How is everyone doing? Wee Woo here. This is going to be, let me get an official count here. 68 players minus my slot, so 67, so the 65 plus is good. Awesome. We're back with OFCRA this week. Last week they had over 100 people on, but their framework wasn't powerful enough to handle everything. So they had to cancel, and I, just streamed for an hour as we relaxed and had a nice debug thing, but they're about to push us to the actual operation here where I will be, going around and spectating. But this is going to only be about a 67-player operation, including myself, 68 slots. But this is actually going to be one of the smaller groups of OFCRA PvP that we've seen in a while. Usually it's in the 70 to 80 range, but probably because of, what happened last week. But either way, this should be an interesting one. Now, it is a Civil War-style operation. Actually, I recognize that as the Horizon Island Defense Force flag, but it is North Kujari versus South Kujari, so we're going to probably see some really similar kits here being utilized against each other. Hold on.
Alright.
So that was T-Far sorting us all, because since I solo shoutcast this stuff, I try to be in their channels to listen to both sides here. But it takes T-Far a hot second to actually transfer everyone down. So with that done, 10-minute warm-up. So we get 10 minutes to basically look over this AO. I have written everything in the mission command, but to break it down, especially for the video, there are 3 different ways that the players can score points here. Hit the wrong button there, my bad. Number 1, there is a power generator on the map, which I actually don't see marked right now. So these are the spawns marked by the flags, but I would assume it's at the FOB because that's the one position that wasn't mentioned earlier. Let me go ahead and zoom around right here. But as I speak, there is a neutral objective on the map, the outpost. Whoever controls the outpost by the end of the operation will gain 3 points. That's kind of weird that there's 3 random sandbags right there. I think that's just a glitched out texture. Maybe the mission maker was having some fun. But whoever controls this outpost right here by the end of the mission will gain 3 points. There is a power generator on the map to which whoever... if the North is able to defend it for the duration of the operation, they gain 5 points. Here it is. So it would be this texture right here, I believe, is the power generator. But if the North is able to keep it intact, they get 5 points. If the South is able to destroy it, then they get 5 points. And then you have your supremacy bonus, which is 2 points, which means if the northern side, by the way, North is blue 4, South is op 4, so if the northern side, blue 4, is able to eliminate all but 5 or less of the OP4 players, then the North gets 5 points, blue 4, and vice versa. If OP4 is able to eliminate all but 5 or less blue 4 players, then OP4 gets 5 points. So there are abilities to tie the match, there's abilities to win the match, it all depends on how things go, but the North is going to be mainly on the defensive here. That's why they spawned a little closer to these 2 objectives, and OP4 is going to be on the offense, so go ahead and look on the map and see what these guys got. So the North appears to be mainly G3 rifle based. These are 7.62 rifles. I'm also seeing some MG3s in play. MG3s we've seen in the past in OFCRA. There are very powerful machine guns that are put on the squad level, and that was how about a month ago, one force who had the machine guns, the MG3s, they were able to do a lot of damage to the other faction. So I'll be curious to see how Blue 4 pushes that advantage here. But otherwise, they have a transport Humvee. This is I believe a command one. Yep, it can only fit 4 people. And then it's got 2 50 cal M113s. And then 3 transport Humvees with some benches on the back, so these can carry a squad apiece. And then a regular M2 Humvee. And then they've got some additional resupply here, but I'm seeing G3s, MG3s, a Maz. I saw a marksman rifle. I'm also seeing some scars. I forget if it's the H or the L, which is the 7.62 variant, but you can see it's the flat bottom mag on the bottom. That indicates it is a 7.62 mag.
So we're compromised. I think we have to change as well now.
And you're also seeing some marksmen here with some nice marksman platforms there. But also sounds like you can hear NASA yelling at people. NASA's my correspondent to OFCRA, who provides me with all the intel for every mission, but he's mentioned he's going to DM people the frequencies for the operation. I'm seeing a lot of long-range scopes being put on, excuse me, not long-range scopes, but, you know, mid-range ACOG scopes being put on these weapons. So you're going to probably see a lot of long-range fighting with this faction. But let's go ahead and look at OFCRA here. OFCRA, the Southern Sorani forces, seem to be a little more militant-based, specifically with Soviet gear. So we have 3 BTR. It's hard to tell, but I would say these are BTR 70s. Could be wrong with that, though, because the flat bill in front just kind of matches what a 70 would look like. So that would mean 3 14.5 millimeter cannons, which is the primary barrel here, and then 3 250 round coaxials, that's our 7.62. But any of those vehicles could easily penetrate the blue 4 Vics, but vice versa, the 50 cals can easily penetrate the BTRs. But there's also some 6-man transport off-road tier, and then a transport truck here, which can fit up to 12 players. So a lot to work with there.
Do you hear me?
Otherwise, they appear to be AK-based.
I can hear you both.
So RPKs as well, SVDs. I don't know which AK that is, but it's one of the modern ones with the, I think it's like Zepnok or something, whatever the MPZ rail, I think is what it's called. But that allows them to have westernized scopes on the top and whatnot, if they so choose. Because we're also seeing ACOGs on them as well. I know any someone like Makarov here to see that, he would start cringing because he hates seeing that type of stuff. But we also see some PKPs here as well. And then they also have a Maz. So a mirror match in terms of their AT.
Yes, it's okay.
But otherwise, I'm actually not seeing, I see 2 Mazes in play here, 3 Mazes. So both sides are just getting multiple Mazes to deal with the enemy vehicles. But otherwise, it's basically, you know, a blue 4. The North is given westernized equipment backing, even though it's more so, well, Germany still counts as the West, but German backing versus, you know, a Russian or Soviet approach to the South side. But I'll be curious to see how this match is done, because it falls into, you know, it's a smaller group of players with OFCRA, which you normally don't see, and they're still going to get the full 2 hours to do the operation, which I'll be curious to see how their tactics go in that regard. But otherwise, I've got a quadruple serving of Tokyo tea, which is about like 20 shots of alcohol, plus I poured Everclear instead of vodka. And that certainly gives a little bit of a benefit there, but Bloodwind was giving me shit over what I do for a living, so I'm like, screw it, we'll just stream, have fun today, because it's OFCRA PvP, then a new Paw Patrol campaign. I have them starting on Roche, Germany, and then an on-the-ground TMTM operation, and we're going to have lots of fun.
Alright.
Now, I will say, in terms of gear, I believe these are the AKs with the 7.62 magazine for balance, because they are fighting G3s, so we're seeing some higher caliber calibers here with longer range optics and a lot of support assets being utilized as well. So normally you would see, you know, things like tanks or grenade launchers, but this is a pretty solid start here. And I bring that up because I am actually in the process of making a mission for Friday Night Fights, because I'm going to make a nice little PvP campaign out of that. And I might stream the development process of it tomorrow before we do FNF, just to have some fun with it with you guys. But I'll be really curious to see what both sides do here. Blue 4 definitely going to have to be on the defensive because of their objective within the FOB to hold that power station there. But if OPFOR is able to come around, then I could see Blue 4 getting overpowered here, but Op 4 does have a lot of forestry to work with here. I don't know why, but this the palm tree textures with the lighting, it feels unlike what I normally see in Kujari, but I think, again, that's just with that lighting. But with all of these palm trees in the town close by to these objectives, and then some of these palm trees allowing for this outpost here to be right next to a lot of cover to come up to it, I feel like Blue 4 is going to have a really difficult time defending, but they do have some shielded 50 cals in place. I did notice that one, and then there is another one at this far little outpost here with some sandbags to help them kind of cover this position, even though there aren't really good sight lines for this area, only if they're looking west. So, oh wow, no, we actually have two more right here, so that's actually planning for a massive incursion from the south. And then you have some unarmed 113s just for showpieces. But I think Blue 4 will be able to hold these quite well. But if Op 4 can utilize the forest to their advantage, especially utilizing those BTRs and find some really good positions to fire from afar with that 14.5 millimeter, I think Blue 4 will be in a lot of trouble here. Because that 14.5 can easily penetrate through cover and still hurt people because it's just such a high, powerful caliber. So, I think Blue 4 is going to have to send at least... They've got the one Humvee back here, which they can use for, you know, like seek and destroy tactics. And if you just notice, the map got darker there. That's because I think the weather just changed into an overcast instead of sunny. So they're also relying on a bit of a darker color pattern here to help hide players as they move along. But otherwise, you have all vehicles being utilized here. Some of the players run over probably from respawning, but everything is being brought into the AO here. Meanwhile, Op 4 is going in with all of the BTRs, and they're missing one truck, but that is fine. Some have also dropped some of their long-range radios and even some of their chest rigs, which is actually a lot of their vests were dropped. Interesting. So I guess they're going for a lighter infantry approach to maybe rush in and try to beat Blue 4 to the objectives. But Blue 4 is actually sending a lot of forces to the left, indicating that they might try to hold the riverbeds to stop the BTRs from coming by. But the BTRs, you got to be careful about them because they are amphibious vehicles, which means they can cross the river at any point. I think Blue 4 might try to hold the river, though, in case to hold any of Op 4's transport vehicles going forward. Otherwise, you already have this one off-road coming by. I am noticing T/5E Hood from... Actually, I can't tell if these are people from FNF as well. I think Anderson, that's not the Anderson I know from FNF, but they're going to quickly try to come across, use this bridge, and maybe try to rush into the objective itself, because Blue 4 is trying to plan a proactive defense here to try to catch Op 4 at choke points, but I don't think they're going to be quick enough. They're only sending one M113 of 4 people, Hunger plus 3, to hold the objectives, and they're committing everything else to defense. Interesting enough, but otherwise, we have this 6-man group. I think they're going to try to secure the bridge, but what is Blue 4 planning? We have a BTR with 5 people crossing the river right here. Another BTR coming up to join them. A BTR with 8 people going right of the Indiana Jones airfield, as I like to call it, because it's called Dr. Jones Airfield as a, reference to Indiana Jones, but that's besides the point. And some of them are still staying at base, I guess, to coordinate. But meanwhile, this is Pogo, who is the commander for Op 4. He is in that lead Vic. Versus NASA, who is, again, my liaison to OFCRA, commanding Blue 4. Now, this is interesting because we have Blue 4 sending 6 guys with the M2 Humvee to cover this bridge, but Op 4 is already deployed along it. And I'm going to be listening to the local comms because I want to see if Op 4 has noticed that Blue 4 has gotten here.
Yeah, then fucking come. Think of your earpieces.
I don't think OPFOR's noticed those Humvees come up, despite the fact that the Humvees kicked up a lot of dust. You got Blue 4 dismounting right here and trying to pull Overwatch. By the way, when people start dying, I am going to mute myself so we won't be able to hear them locally anymore, because if they die, then you can directly hear them, and that can get a little messy. But Blue 4 is definitely unaware of OPFOR's presence, but I cannot be certain if OPFOR knows about Blue 4. Nope, they talked about the Humvee, and we just heard a Moz round go in. Shots coming out from OPFOR. No Blue 4 KIAs yet. I'm going to quickly tab out to mute myself. Sorry about that. Got OPFOR putting a lot of tracers out here. Really close GLs as well. Blue 4 has been ambushed. The Humvee hit with a Moz round, as they were trying to dig a trench right here, but they quickly canceled it and got behind. You got one of them pulling out a 136 to potentially counter with their own AT. But this is the main firefight going on right now, as Blue 4 and OPFOR are still positioning their forces. So now you got Selter here opening up with that MG3 to try to suppress, but there's no way that Blue 4 knows where OPFOR is right now, because they're firing from such a large direction. This is a great ambush by OPFOR. You see a lot of blood by Blue 4 players here. Even a man down on the blue. Oh no, he is dead. So that is the first casualty. That's Luffy, who has gone down to this OPFOR ambush, and they're already putting OPFOR in a big issue here. And Blue 4, it looks like OPFOR had the number advantage based off of how many people we have, which makes sense because Blue 4 has more of the more modernized equipment and the better machine gun. They even put an ACOG on that thing. Now you got Carl Connor running up. He might try to do a single-man flank. Try to get up and weed out some of the survivors here. But here we got Cali S, who's been shooting at them. I'm going to look at his POV. Yeah, he has a perfect fire angle for where they come out right there. And he is doing his best to try to engage them and quickly rolling behind a tree to stay out of their sight here, but looking locally down at some of these players. They have no idea where those shots are coming from. So I got an eye on Cali right there, and he's trying to return fire, but he quickly goes behind the tree, and he's trying to allow for his, Cali's trying to allow for other OPFOR members to try to fire on Blue 4 here, but another Blue 4 guy has gone down in this ambush. That was Malgren. So Blue 4 down 33% of their force here, and OPFOR is just constantly picking them off because they've got more manpower, and they have all of these trees to help conceal them, and they are just keeping this area suppressed. I just watched Zymek take a shot there. You got Selter here with that MG3, just try to do a spray. But I'm seeing no skulls on OPFOR, which means his spray was ineffective. Blue 4 is in the open. They easily silhouette on this rock wall here. They're in a very bad position. And with how the terrain looks, there's no way for them to pull back without popping a large amount of smoke. And you got Carl Connor coming up, and he's going to try to get on a flank and sweep all these guys. This is messy. Oh, the MG3 Selter goes down, and now they're at 50% effectiveness. OPFOR's gotten a lot of forces here. Blue 4 sent a lot to try to hold these checkpoints, but I think they stretched themselves way too thin here. OPFOR getting a lot of free kills, and Carl coming up trying to get some close-by grenades. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get blue on blue by his own guys. But Carl, he's a very strong player in PvP. I could see him guiding up to this rock wall and getting some headshots and cleaning up the rest of this force. We got Michael trying to crawl, not crawl, but literally prone crawl back. Alberto is also doing that. Zymek is also doing that. Carl needs to get up here and eliminate these last remaining Blue 4 players before they get away. Because I could see Blue 4 climbing over this wall and just crawling back. You got some really far smoke, probably from a smoke launcher here, but Blue 4 is sending a counterattack from the rear. These are 4 players So 2 guys in a buddy team, and then 1-1-1-3 trying to come on the rear of OFCRA to help relieve this 3-man Blue Force group from getting them away. So here we go. They're trying to pop smoke grenades to get away right here. And OFCRA's actually turned 2 guys around to potentially deal with this force coming in. Now, we got Hunger and Tactical Keyboard. I don't know too much about them, but I do know a lot about Cali S. He is one of the veterans of OFCRA that can do a lot of damage. We're also seeing OFCRA now getting shot in the rear by that 113, and they need to be careful. But Carl here, he's using that smoke to come up. But he's immediately spotted by Alberto and taken out as he takes out another Blue 4 member, and he's only able to trade 1-to-1 evenly. But otherwise, Hood appears to be dead, taken out from the 113 as Hunger goes down from Cali. And Cali now trying to shoot at Tactical Keyboard. Barros also delivering some flanking fire. And some double taps on Hunger. So Blue 4 is just outmanned right here. OFCRA may be down 2 guys, but they have so far been able to take out 4 dudes and wound another. That was Michael Fox that was taken down right there, by the way. And you might have OFCRA send more forces from those BTRs to completely encircle and eliminate that Blue 4 group. Early on, if OFCRA can keep knocking out a lot of forces Blue 4 has, that'll certainly help them in the final assaults for the actual objectives. You got that 113 opening up again. I'm watching OFCRA to see what skulls they take. We have McKinney. Yes, that is McKinney. He is also dead from that burst of the 113. You got to remember, it has a 50 cal. Those shots are very lethal to any player, regardless of what body armor you're wearing. If you take 1 or 2 hits from those, you're going to be dead. It's a very big bullet. So Hunger's still down. You got Cali, Benares, and Roland trying to flank around to find Tactical Keyboard as the 113 pulls back. The gunner has actually turned in. And they're going to pull back, potentially leaving Tactical Keyboard on his own. A Moz shot goes out, though, by Benares, and that takes out the 113 and kills both of the crewmen. They are now suppressing the site to make sure that anyone that bails out of that vehicle is killed. But that was Adas and Shadowstalker in that vehicle, and they are both down. So OFCRA getting a nice early on advantage. Hunger dies. I was about to say he's not waking up, so it's unlikely he's going to wake up at all, but he is now dead, and Tactical Keyboard is alone with a large OFCRA force here to potentially contest with. Meanwhile, Alberto and Zemek have pulled back to the objective with that one vehicle now that OFCRA's turned around, and Carl died for OFCRA. So now it's just going to be up to Tactical Keyboard to survive. If I were Blue 4 command at this point, I would pull back my side forces and get on the objectives. So at this point, OFCRA has shown that they have they've been superior in the PvP so far. Yes, OFCRA is a multilingual group. They have players that come in from France, Czechoslovakia, Britain, United States, and all of those groups use their native language in OFCRA, which is really, really fun to watch. That's one of the unique aspects I would say about OFCRA, though, is most groups only restrict you to one language, but OFCRA, you're allowed to speak whatever language you know to give you an advantage in the PvP. Well, we've got Roland. He's checking the body of, I believe that was Honduras that died. He has already left the server, so I actually can't confirm it. But now you got Roland kind of looking around, trying to see if he can spot the gunner, Roland's assistant, not Roland's assistant, Honduras' assistant, which is Tactical Keyboard, and he is hiding right here. And we might see some Siri action for him. Survive, evade, resist, escape, as he'll need to go get to friendly territory. That's a lot tougher to do when you're in a PvP environment. But I'm excited to see what Tactical Keyboard is able to do here. And we have Blue 4 actually crossing the river right here. They might come over to Op 4's position here and try to assist Tactical Keyboard. That's pretty cool. Benares is now taking a turn looting Honoris' body. And Op 4 is scattered. They have sent a team down to where Blue 4 is. That vehicle is gone, though. 2 survivors were able to get out, and they're going to find 4 Blue 4 bodies and 1 Op 4 body. I think Snake just thought he saw something. Maybe? Nope, he doesn't have the view to see Tactical Keyboard. Keyboard is in a little bit of defilade, so he's not going to be spotted. Instead, he's speaking with Benares about stuff. And you also have Callie and Barrows who have come up to the wreck to verify that both the driver and the gunner were killed in that rocket strike, excuse me. Otherwise, chat, how are you going? How are you doing? Excuse me. I'm a little drunk right now. I've been drinking a quadruple serving of Tokyo tea, which is like 20 shots of alcohol, including the fact that instead of vodka, I poured Everclear, which is much worse, but... Cobalt Cat, always a pleasure to see you. Cobalt Cat is one of the guys who was originally with me in the old Luton 09 days back when he did Zeus Ops in 2016, before he converted to Warhammer 40k stuff. Steel Drummer, I see you there. Retro Spectra, appreciate you being here as well. And everyone else that said hey when we started the stream. Apologies that we'll have a little bit of a delay here because of the 5-minute delay that I'm required to have for OFCRA. But a few announcements real quick. We got Paw Patrol at 8. It's going to be a nice, simple start to a new campaign, but with some ominous factors, and I've got some cool things planned for that campaign. And then TMTM, I don't know what we're doing tonight at 10, but it should be cool. And then, of course, the next Pay for Pain will be with Ooh, hold up. Barrows and Callie spotted Tactical Keyboard and just eliminated him as he was trying to hide, and he has gone down. That is unfortunate, but we got Blue 4 groups coming in. You've got Mikkel behind an Op 4 building. I think he's spotted some of Blue 4 coming in here. Yep, he's got a sight line on Goatland here, but he is going to bide his time because he's alone. He just switched to his flashbangs for some reason, but he's probably going to call that up to Op 4 to let them know there are additional forces here. And then this other group right here hasn't been spotted yet, but Op 4 has also pulled a force on the northern side of this riverbank and could potentially come in. But Mikkel now opening fire on Goatland, manages to knock him out. But he is now in a 1v4 situation, as Blue 4 is now wondering where those shots came from. Otherwise, we'll be back at, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. for Paw Patrol and TMTM, respectively. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. I need to upload a little earlier. Wow, Mikkel getting a great shot on Lemur there. And Blue 4 still doesn't realize where those shots are coming from. And now that group on the northern side of the riverbank is opening up on the Blue 4 group coming in. Hall has stolen the MG3 off of one of the dead bodies, and he is using that to his advantage. And Blue 4 just seems to be ahead. Op 4 seems to be ahead of Blue 4 every step of the way here as Snakes, Anderson, and Cheeseburger now move into Shea, Rigel, Nubass, Sky Online, and Royd Camper. All of those names are actually really good players. I recognize them all from OFCRA in previous events, but if Blue 4 keeps getting pushed here, Nubass under fire behind that tree. Shea trying to return fire with that MG3. And Rigel trying to open fire on Snakes, who is blind firing. Throws a grenade. Looking back, I don't see... Yeah, Mikkel got picked off, but now you got Callie and Barrows coming down to potentially deal with these 3 players. On Blue 4's side, Shea is still up, but his battle buddy is down. And I don't think he still realizes that he's being flanked from the direct right. Snake's doing a bit of bandaging because he got hit. I wanted to get in and talk to you guys about stuff coming up, but PvP just started up again. So Shea is now under fire from a marksman. That is Snake Doctor firing with that SVD. Trying to pick off Shea. Shea, though, now realizing he's being flanked from his right, starts to open up on Cheeseburger, who quickly pulls back. Callie, his battle buddy's dead. He tried to fire on Roy Camper, but now he is being flanked from the rear. I believe that's where his battle buddy is right there. He's being shot by Mr. Dave. And blue on blue, Snakes going down by Hall and Wilm. One of them opened up and took him out. That's unfortunate. That transport off-road going down. 2 smoke grenades being put down as Callie now trying to open up against Dave, but isn't able to find where specifically he is. Sorry, Czech Republic, whatever they call themselves right now. I do apologize. American education at its best. You know, I'd make a counter to that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, that's what it is. Sky Online is unconscious. Roy Kemper being the only remaining Blue 4 member of this team to run up here. A lot of forces went down. Hippie, Nubash, Shay, Rigel all down as Op4 attempts to close the gap to eliminate Royd. And it's just been a matter of Blue 4 has been sending smaller groups to what Op4 has. And Op4 has been able to just encircle and eliminate the entire group. But I mean no disrespect to anyone from the Czech Republic. Oh gosh, Zicky, another great player, just caught Roy Camper out of position and took him out. And it looks like they were able to get Goatland back up with some crafty bandaging and some medical by Garrett here. But this 4-man group is going to be outgunned as Op4 repositions. But yeah, I never mean any disrespect. It's just, you know, my limited knowledge. I learn something every day, you know? Go home, you're drunk? Yeah, right? Everclear oof. Yeah, you can use Everclear to replace vodka, but you have to put it out as like a... For every shot of vodka, you have to do a half shot of Everclear. And I will admit, I accidentally poured... for this recipe, it called for 2 shots of vodka. I accidentally put 2 shots of Everclear. But it's still pretty good. Plus, I got 2 batches of Stoli Doli I gotta drink, but c'est la vie, right? This op, we've only been streaming for about 30 minutes, and that doesn't include the start time, so we've only been 20 minutes in this op. There's still an hour 40 left to go, but Blue 4 has already lost a considerable amount of players here, compared to Op4, who's only lost a handful, so this operation is starting to lean into Op4's favor, which is a little worrisome. So Callie's popped some smoke grenades on himself as he tries to bandage his battle buddy, who, if I recall, it was Barros. But Barros is dead. He took a shot to the head, unfortunately, and Blue 4 sees the smoke, and they might try to get a free kill on Callie and potentially overpower the remainder of this Op4 force if Op4 starts only sending chunks of forces to Blue 4. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Op4 has sent a 5-man team into the power generator objective. Again, if Blue 4 is able to keep that alive, they get 5 points, but if Op4 is able to destroy it, they get 5 points. But Op4 is only sending 5 men to fight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Blue 4 guys who are entrenched in buildings, compared to Op4, who's kind of in the open here behind rocks. But Blue 4 definitely doing their best to scout things out. They might have spotted that one Bravo element right there. But I would say Op4 needs to wait for backup, because otherwise they're just going to end up how Blue 4 has ended up in this opening firefight and get encircled and eliminated. And Op4, I'm not sure if they've realized they have that numbers advantage right now. They still have a lot of forces separated here, but... Oop, hold up. Pogo came down to reinforce Callie, and he was knocked unconscious. So Snake's over here, who's also unconscious. There's been a few bandages done. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. He might need some more assistance. Some green smoke grenades popped. Cheeseburger coming up here. Don't know if those shots were specifically on Cheeseburger or Roland. Roland bandaging, though. Cheeseburger trying to find an angle with that PKP. Cali trying to get a flank here. He's being supported by Benares here, who is suppressing Dave, who was out in the open. He definitely took a few shots right there. Gotland also taking some shots by Cali now. They're down a man now. Garrett trying to return fire on Cali's position. That was Gotland who was killed by that purple smoke. A lot of different colors being popped. At this point, Blue 4 is trying to pop whatever they can to conceal themselves. They're now down a man. While Benares pushing up on his own. Excuse me. Hiccup right there. I swear to God if I get hiccups on stream again. We got Benares pushing up, who took out the 113 earlier. Now trying to apply pressure. As Cali and Cheeseburger come up on the side. God damn it. Hiccups. I hate getting hiccups on stream because it greatly shortens how much I can talk about between breaths. Otherwise, Benares is getting suppressed by friendly forces, but he was just able to take out another Blue 4 member. I do deeply apologize for that, guys. I can't. It's hard to control my own body when I'm drunk, but Garrett and Mr. Dave now trying to pull back to the south as Benares pushes. Garrett Hawk being spotted out in the open and engaged by Cheeseburger. We just heard a Maz shot from Papa versus Bravo here at the main objective. 2 members of Blue 4 knocked unconscious by TRD. That would be Vinny and Tihar knocked unconscious. So 2 free knocks by OFCRA here by 6 EME players. They're pretty good at PvP. Otherwise, we have Garrett here still under fire. Some more smoke being popped as he tries to get away. Oh, God, I apologize for that stream. And Garrett taken out by a blind suppression by Snake Doctor. With that stolen MG3 from Blue 4. Again, it's a very powerful weapon. I would argue one of, if not the most powerful machine gun in all of Arma 3 based off of its stats. And Benares now pushing around, trying to make sure that all of Blue 4 has been taken out. But, setting up behind this rock to see if Blue 4 is still there. That might allow Mr. Dave to get away. Nonetheless, OFCRA Papa has pulled back, fearing a retaliation attack by Blue 4. As Blue 4 is still going around, maybe they'll be able to get to Tihar and Vinny in time to administer medical. Maybe not, but again, OFCRA getting a lot of early on engagement kills here to whittle down Blue 4's force. I just saw some tracers bounce up. Was that Cali engaging Mr. Dave? I believe so. Cali already on 2 kills. Again, a very, very good PvPer. Now we wait. Yeah, so they didn't mean the lower numbers today. It's just a matter of who showed up, but it's also because they tried to do 100 plus last week and it blew up in their face, unfortunately, and they're working on it, but That's why it's a little lower today, but we might see a quicker match with OFCRA because of it, because Blue 4 doesn't have a lot of defenders remaining, and if Op4 were to regroup, they'd be able to get a lot of damage in. Dave being spotted out and engaged. That is Roland firing on him with an RPK. He's taking some retaliation fire by Mr. Dave, but now he's being shot at by two different angles. You got Mr. Dave doing a quick tack reload, and he is going to pull back, knowing that at this point he's the only guy left alive, and he's in a lot of trouble if he stays put, because Callie and Snake Doctor are pushing his position. Now you got Hall here firing with that stolen MG3. Dave just took a shot, and he is down by Snake Doctor, who again has also stolen an MG3. Snake Doctor on 3 kills, by the way. And now he's going to make sure that he is indeed down. He's dodging some of his friendly fire from Hall, who also stole an MG3. And they're just confirming he is dead. Alcohol does that? Yeah, it does. So you still have Snakes back here who's unconscious. I don't think he's going to be medied up at this point, because his friendlies aren't able to find them. BTR has also pulled around to help secure everything, but Op4 has this sector secured at this point, and now it is just up to Blue 4 with the small amount of manpower they have to hold these objectives. Meanwhile, you have Tio nearby Vinny here, who has bandaged him up a little bit, and you also have Soroka. How would you pronounce that? Soroka. That's how you say it. So, Soroka's trying to bandage up Tihar here. And Op4 has pulled back their 5 guys from 6 EME. I think they're going to wait for Op4 to regroup and push this position, but we have a nice little lull here. Liru dead? I'm not dead, don't worry. So now what Op4 needs to do is they need to get this main force right here regrouped with these 2 side forces, probably have this main force push up down this MSR, take the town of, actually it would be a village at that point, Daruo, and then use that as a staging point to hit this outpost and destroy that power generator, which, by the way, I think has already been destroyed. I would suspect a long-range AT shot actually hit it for Op4. So with that destroyed, Op4 has already scored 5 points. And you can look on the mission command and see how that all formulates. I'm going to do a quick head count of Blue 4 members here. We have 5 defending this position, a 6th, a 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, because I'm going to assume they're going to get Vinny up. 11, 12. So only 5 minus 12 is what? 7? 8, 9, 10, 12. Yep. So if Op4 is able to kill 7 more Blue 4 players, they'll get an additional 2 points for the supremacy bonus, and at that point, I think that's GG on Op4's point at this point. Yeah, I apologize for having a hiccup and coughing fit on stream. Bloodwing, she likes to joke with me about, you know, she has the stable job, but I do YouTube and Twitch for a living. And it drives me to drink, which is not a good habit, but hey, you know, alcohol. I live with it. It's all good. But now I am going to hopefully see Op4 regroup and push these last 2 objectives to clear out the remaining Blue 4 players. But Honestly, we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 players to the south of the FOB and 5 players to the north. That would be 11 versus 12, which would be a pretty even fight. So even if OFCRA doesn't regroup, they're still pretty much at an advantage here. Plus, OFCRA still has the BTRs to field, even though I think they've dismounted on all of them. But OFCRA is giving a few shots here, I think, on those two. Yeah, Edberg and Bluck. Edberg took a few hits here, popping smoke on his immediate position. He needs to wait for it to billow out, and then he can pull away. Bluck now also taking fire. That is PHK, another really good player in OFCRA. Who is trying to use that SVD site. He's blind firing right now because that smoke is too thick, but he's hoping he can get lucky. But it's a very nice systematic way of how he's firing around that smoke. So Bluck's pulling back to this far tree. Edberg, I think, is still bandaging. Yep. See him in that bandage animation. But on the right side of that billowed smoke, Bluck is now trying to give cover fire for Edberg as he pulls back. Blue 4 not really utilizing those 50 cals. That could potentially help them suppress in OFCRA's direction to make them run for cover. But that smoke is running out at this point. And now Bluck and Edberg might be exposed. Bluck now pulling back. Blue 4 trying to give some additional fire from their farther northern groups, but it might not be enough. OFCRA is making their offensive here. I'm wondering where the 6 EME guys are going. They might be going for that outpost instead. But Blue 4 is relying on just holding the outpost at this point, even though I think the power complex is down. They also have a hidden 113 here with a vehicle trench. With that spare 50 cal, that might assist them in the future, but with that being destroyed, I think this objective is kind of moot. But we'll just have to see. It's just turned into a Blue 4 hardpoint. I would say so far the shortcoming of Blue 4 was just sending smaller groups to defend certain areas, not realizing OFCRA might send larger groups to counter. And Blue 4 thought they'd have more time to set up defenses, but in reality, Blue 4 just kept sending units to where OFCRA already was entrenched, and thus Blue 4 just kept losing guys after guys. So that was NASA's shortcoming in his plan, unfortunately, and Pogo, even though he's dead now, has been able to help counter all of that with the plan he set up, and now his squad leaders are carrying out accordingly. Another Moz shot came in on this fuel little, I guess I'll call it a silo here. It's, there's another word for it. It begins with a C. Glycerin. Maybe. But regardless, they're just, using that AT weapon as a shock and awe to try to freak the infantry out. Now you got Bluck alone by himself trying to hold this position. Note that he doesn't have a helmet, meaning any bullet that hits his face, 9mm or 50 cal, is going to insta-kill him. Another Moz round coming in to knock down that little camo net there. That's Rizbo firing. He himself is on no kills, but again, he is doing a lot of damage to freak Blue 4 out. I know that it was both the power generator and a fuel cache, and I think this might be the fuel objective to hit for those 5 points, but if Blue 4 gets fully wiped, then points don't matter at that point, because OFCRA is going to win by default. Now this is interesting though, the TRD guys are trying to set up a flank here against OFCRA, and you have Nakpenna getting on that 50 cal to try to suppress where OFCRA was, but OFCRA is trying to close the distance here, so this is going to be our next point of contact. We have an MG3 here with Tio. And a 5-man squad with a Maz coming up. But they are outgunned by 8 players of OFCRA. But OFCRA doesn't know they're there yet unless Fleesh manages to spot them early on. Which he might. So Fleesh saw them, and that caused them to, that caused Blue4 to open up on him. And now we're going to have a standoff here between 5 Blue4 players and 8 OFCRA players. Both sides trying to flank around to the southeast. PHK going, might be able to catch these 2 TRD players in the open here. Yep, one shot by PHK, and he gets 2. Nice double kill there by PHK. That lowers Blue4 to 3 players here. But every step of the way, OFCRA has seemed to be able to counter Blue4's actions. But great call by PHK there, and now he's looking around to get more with that SVD. So he's now pulling back to friendly forces. And OFCRA are sending the 6 EME guys to take the outpost for those points. Oh, god damn it. Hiccups, choking, and sneezing. Everything happens this stream. Now PHK covering that sector. As the 3 remaining TRD players for Blue4 to continue to flank around while one Vinny is going to stay here by his 2 fallen comrades. And just one small, not even ridge, just hill over. OFCRA is maintaining their presence, looking around. Real quick, I'm going to check the map. OFCRA has folded their forces in on this BTR, actually, and now they're deploying to the north to funnel them in on the objectives. And we're only about 40 minutes in on this operation. So there's still plenty of time for OFCRA to do this maneuvering. Blue4 looks like they're stopping short, looking up, making sure OFCRA isn't trying any wide flanks, but OFCRA has stayed put on this hill, realizing they took out 2 guys where Vinny is, and they are just holding for now, I guess waiting for the remainder of OFCRA's force to come from the north, as well as 6 EME to start taking that outpost. But Blue4 is in a major pickle at this point. It's going to be really tough for Blue4 to bounce back here. So Meridian match shot and tackle, folding back to Mr. White. I can only assume they're going to pull that direction to either regroup with other OFCRA forces or try a flank around and run into Tio and Tihar, who are trying the same thing. We got PHK and Rizbo coming up. Rizbo leading with this marksman rifle. He's going to see Vinny and start spraying. He runs out of ammo, quickly switches to a secondary. Rizbo now coming up on his view. And Rizbo takes him out. A classic 2v1 where one guy distracts as the other guy comes around. Rizbo getting a great kill there on Vinny. And that just shows you the powers of having the numbers advantage. Because obviously you can only fight what's in front of you, so if someone comes around and flanks you from the rear, you're pretty much screwed. So Tio trying to flank out Mr. White there, but giving himself away with that machine gun. Also, call me Blood Forehead. Thanks for the 6-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. You missed most of it, but there's still some nice little after actions here to cover. But hope Hope you keep enjoying the operations. We'll be back at 8 and 10 p.m. for 2 additional things, and I hope you get a kick out of this. Tio just dropped his backpack, catches Fleech out of position, and knocks him out. Great flank right there by Tio, but the other two guys are firing back at Tihar. Tio now coming out, trying to get some shots on Manchote there, but is unsuccessful as Manchote hugs that rock really well. Mr. White took a lot of hits there as well. We see some blood forming on him. He needs to pull back, but Manshot was able there to hit one of the members of TRD. That was Tio, and unfortunately Tihar also was taken out. So, do they have a medic on station? Yes, Manchote is the medic, and he might be able to go over and pick up Fleech there. But at this point, Blue 4 is down to 4, 5, 6 players. So if one more guy gets killed, then Op4 will get the supremacy bonus and get 2 points for this round. I honestly think, based off of the numbers, Op4 has this in the bag. And it's going to be very, very unlikely that Blue 4 is going to be able to turn it around, which is unfortunate. So you got NASA making his final stand on this objective, even though the power generators have been destroyed. I think the fuel thing right here is also another objective that needs to be hit for those 5 points, but Op4 coming around here. PHK and Rizbo about to be walked up on by Nakpena. Oh no. He sights them both. Come on. He's bandaging. That's your best shot to take, Knack. Knack, what were you doing? You had an opportunity there and you just lost it. Oh, gosh. Knack, while PHK was bandaging, should have taken the shot on Rizbo and then take the shot on PHK and then engaged Matchshot, who was busy bandaging Mr. White. He could have gotten an easy triple kill there, maybe a quadruple if he also identified that Mr. White was hitting the body there, but I think he choked last minute trying to see what else was there, but PHK was able to turn around and get a free kill. Oh, that's unfortunate. And now that plays into the supremacy bonus. Op4 has whittled down Blue 4 to 5 players or less, and therefore Op4 has officially scored 2 points on the roster here. But I think they're going to be able to get a full sweep out at this rate, as we see NASA and Bluck trying to go to the outpost, but 6 EME members are already here, crewing the statics and ready to go in case Blue 4 sends forces here to cover. Gosh darn, that was difficult. I thought there was actually
I can't believe I've been here for 15 months. How did you put up with me this long?
That's unfortunate. I thought we were going to see a good upset there, but hey, nothing's telling in PvP, which is why I love to spectate it. And Helix Phantom, thank you for the 15-month resub. I put up with you because I put up with everyone else, because you just want to watch this awesome Arma 3 content, and I'm glad that you are able to join. Otherwise, thank you for the 15-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a kick out of this nice OFCRA PvP operation. But 5 Blue 4 members remaining. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold up. Op4 started engaging. There's about 20 Op4 members remaining here. Yeah, there's 25 Op4 remaining. This is going to be a messy one. That means Blue 4 is outgunned 5-1. That's one of the biggest ratios I've seen in PvP today. Mazround going in, hitting and collapsing the barracks building. I guess Z-Mech's internet connection hasn't gotten the message yet as he floats. And he's starting to desync out. He is knocked down and killed off because of that headshot. Now 4 Blue 4 players remain. This is going to be a messy one. Takara doing his best, hitting Seal Willem down in a knockout. Also got some shots on Ziki, who is quickly bandaging. Now you got NASA caught out of position. Blue for command. With his Bino still out, and he is taken out. Wasn't Alex that got the kill. Wasn't Bino that got the kill. It was Blake that got the killing blow there. And now we're down to 3. Three versus 24. Because Willem is knocked unconscious. Roland, Snake Doctor, Callie, and Anderson breaching these buildings to try to find Takara. These guys have already experienced some PvP in the scenario, so I would call them veterans at this point for the scenario. In the sense that they've already seen what Blue Force is capable of, and they know how to deal with them in case they start shooting. Takara in a very nasty situation. He is one of the marksmen, hence his weapon and his scope. But in a CQB situation, especially with the fact that Snake Doctor has a stolen MG3, which again is one of the best weapons for MG gunners to have in this scenario. This is a messy one. Takara trying to peer out, see if he sees any OPFOR players here. And the chirp of the cicadas showing us that this is the end. A grenade being thrown out by Takara, but that smoke grenade's only going to give him away. I think that was a misthrow. That grenade manages to hit Roland as Roland returns with a grenade of his own. Gets caught in the opening door. That was an M2 grenade. So early World War II based grenades being used. Takara going prone right here with his handgun, knowing that's a better choice of weaponry. I'd be honest though, if you have a marksman rifle, just take the scope off, you know? And then if you run out of ammo for that gun as you're using it as a CQB weapon, then switch to your handgun. But everyone has their own play style at that point. GL going in, Roland is below. And Snake Doctor spotting the Blue 4 member there and actually shooting him and killing him as he tried to jump down. Snake Doctor getting his 4th kill. That's actually great considering it's 30v30, give or take. I think there was a slight numbers advantage on OPFOR there. But Snake Doctor with 4 kills and still alive, I mean, that's a great number to have for this scenario. Send the Boom giving a gift sub to Hemzadoop. I appreciate it. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Thank you so much for the gift sub. And I hope you both have been getting a kick out of this OFCRA operation. But it is down now to Alberto, Montana and Bluck to hold the line. And we haven't even been an hour in the scenario because you got to remember there was a 10-minute safe start. And it's just been a slaughter at this point for OPFOR as they now come around these objectives and slowly push in. And yes, we have a 5-minute delay. That's OFCRA asks me to delay it just in case of any stream sniping issues. And I drank all my booze. That's about 20 shots of booze there, so it'll probably last till 8 p.m. But I might also get some Stoli Doli because I have a lot of it on standby. But I'm in the mood for either a Papa John's pizza or some whatchamacallit, soft-boiled eggs are my favorites, so. Maz round coming in. Was that by Mr. White? Yes, it was. He is doing a reload, just making sure that this position is fully taken out. Oh, no, he took out the fuel glycerin, so I think that was both the fuel and the power generator taken out. So OPFOR has scored another 5 points. They are up 7 points to Blue 4 with no points right now because no supremacy bonus, and the outpost isn't counted until the end of the scenario. So I don't think Blue 4 has a chance in hell. Excuse me, a snowball's chance in hell in winning this operation. And it just goes to show it's because they sent too few guys to checkpoints. They picked... Let me explain. Blue Force sent, guys down to this area, guys down to this area right here to make sure that OPFOR wouldn't have one spot to cross the river, but OPFOR already got BTRs across, meaning that OPFOR did a nice rush strategy, but also set up forces on the river, anticipating Blue Force would send forces here to try to cover the bridge, in which case OPFOR was able to overpower them and gain the numbers advantage. So after that was done and Blue Force sent reinforcements to try to help their forces, OPFOR was able to constantly throw more of their force against Blue Force, who only sent a smaller chunk of their force. And just OPFOR has been able to consistently keep the numbers advantage and pretty much win this scenario because of it. But overall, I think this was a pretty good operation to spectate, because it was, it's just a show of how one man, even though Pogo is KIA, his plan has still been able to be carried out by the rest of the force and, help OPFOR to victory, as NASA, who was alive longer but taken out in this open field as he tried to get to the outpost to secure it with Bluck, who is still alive in that triangle right there. Just goes to show you the advantage there. Snake Doctor getting taken out by Alberto. Yeah, so 1-to-1 Blue Force able to get a free kill there, but now that Roland is being joined by Snakes and Anderson and Callie might join him, a 4v1 might be a tough call here. But Alberto hiding himself to make sure he isn't spotted early. Great play by Alberto there, picking one guy off early. Oh, we get the second. That was on Snake. He kills the Snake Doctor, and then he kills Snake, puts a shot on Cheeseburger, and he jumps down, quickly moving from that position, but he is flanked from the north by Manchot and PHK, and a frickin' Maz round comes in to take him out. That was probably by Mr. White, who didn't get the kill, but whoever shot that Maz round definitely got the kill there. And now it is down to Block, who is dead. 6 EME was able to take him out, and that is GG to OPFOR. Again, Blue Force just separated their forces out a little too hard, trying to keep OPFOR from taking the objectives, but OPFOR was able to counter, keeping a large force to stop one of the Blue Force garrisons from holding the bridge, and from there, it was just, that was it. I think that was a great PvP round, in all honesty. It just showed that OPFOR was able to quickly, when they started coming under fire from too many Blue Force groups, they were able to bring reinforcements to keep the numbers advantage. And from there, everything just fell into place. But I haven't seen a full wipe of a force in a very long time within OFCRA. And there you go. OPFOR scoring all of the points there and still having 22 players left because Blue Force just kept sending too small of a group to deal with OPFOR's opposition. And OPFOR was able to win it. But otherwise, guys, we will be back. It's 5:41 for my time, so an hour and 19 minutes. We will be back with Paw Patrol for a new campaign on Roche, Germany, and then TMTM will be at 10 p.m. EST tonight. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Otherwise, cheers. Have a good one.